Okay, so Lola Marcus is a top marketing strategist and a brand expert with over 16 years of experience across 8 industries. She has led major campaigns for global brands like Durex, Danone, and Samsung. Currently, head marketing at a leading African travel fintech, known for her bold creativity and strategic thinking. Lola blends storytelling with data-driven insights to drive purposeful brand growth. She's widely recognized as one of the sharpest minds shaping the future of marketing in Nigeria and beyond. Gentlemen and ladies, I bring to you Lola. Please get it. Hi, Lola.
No, she wrote that, but wow. Even I'm impressed.
You know what? You know what I'm smiling. It reminds me of it reminds me of an event that we had recently.
Yeah,
My organization put together an event, the African Marketing and Technology event, and
yeah.
so I was supposed to come and do the introduction, the opening speech for the event. Then I had them reading out my profile. I was like, okay, hold on, who put that up? I wasn't even put that out.
You need to
So don't
ask.
worry,
You need to
I,
ask.
I understand. But that was brilliant. I'm sure whoever did that did justice to your profile.
I
Just a
try.
bit of what they want us to know, and
Yeah.
not all the other plenty things that we know you've been doing. Nice to
Okay.
have you on the show on the stage tonight.
Thank
This
you very
morning, beg
much.
your pardon. Are
Mhm.
you doing a presentation or we are just going to be chatting?
I have a presentation,
Oh,
which I already sent
fantastic!
to Aneta as well, but let me see if I can do it on my
Upload it.
end. Okay, I think technology is on my side.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you are the
I
first
want to
person that
hope.
did not have village.
Let's see. It says it's processing, so let's see. But in the interim, while that's working out, if it doesn't work out, I'll probably just have to prompt Aniete to help
Oh
out
yeah,
on your
it's
end.
up. No, no, no.
Oh,
It's is it?
not yet. I don't see it on my end.
Oh, not
Um,
yet.
However, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me, and also thank you to everybody that has spoken before me, Dr. Stola and Dr. Biodun. Nice to see you again, um, as well as Baba. This has been really interesting because I feel like everybody has spoken very technically about data and marketing and sales, and that has sort of built a really good foundation for me and what I'm about to speak on. I'm speaking from a point of view of um, specifically more a consumer point of view. Um, it's really interesting, and I love the fact that we're putting together the topics navigating the future of sales and marketing, and we're pairing it with the call for data-driven storytelling. Storytelling is very key. And
Absolutely.
everybody before me has sort of laid that foundation about how data works and how we can use data to talk to customers and how data right now is really interesting. But I want to come from a different point of view. I want to come from the point of view of the customer and the consumer and who we're talking to these days. Who are these people? Yes, data is interesting. Data is needed. Data is queen, um, where the customer is king. But who are these people? And what are we essentially saying to them? So I'm just going to go right into it. Um, because let's be honest, marketing is evolving. It has evolved. It has evolved from us saying they tell us about it on an advert in newspapers, on a billboard, and we try it, we buy it. It has now moved from that to show them, prove it, and vibe with them, and maybe and hope the algorithm will help you agree with this. We're talking to a different kind of customer right now. We're talking in this day and age. We're talking to a very different type of customer. Um, and I say this not only just as a marketer, but as a mother of a Gen Alpha. I'm me seeing, even though he's really young or younger, but able to assimilate what is advertised on TV or whatever the case may be, how he engages with what he sees. So let's talk about who the customer is. Our new consumers these days are your Gen Zs, your Gen Alphas. Yes, we're still talking to millennials for some products, but we're building the gap or building the bridge for the new consumer, the Gen Zs, the Gen Alphas. They are the swipe before they walk generation. And as Dr. Biodo had mentioned, that a lot of his data analysis and a lot of the work that he did, a lot with most of data that he has worked with happened during COVID. This is our COVID generation. They don't just consume the data, they co-create, they remix it, they comment under it, and they also cancel you if it's not giving. Back in the day, the Gen X and the millennials trusted the brand authority. They listened to the jingles, they read the brochures, they looked out for the billboards, the newspaper ads, and they made decisions based off of logic and legacy. Um, and for example, when I worked at Danone, I conducted a customer focus group around yogurt and milk products in Nigeria, and we had definitively two sets of customers: your Gen Zs and your millennials, just essentially to understand where we're coming from and where we're going to. Because at the time, this was about 5 years ago, Gen Zs were just the newer customers coming into the market, into their own pocket power, into the workforce, and they were able to now buy and make the purchasing decisions on their own. So we had this consumer focus group, and it was for yogurts and milk products. And one of the questions was, how do you choose the milk that you buy or you use? And there was a very clear distinction. Our millennials in the room said, you know, in a way for them it was basically what they grew up on and what they knew or what they have always known or what their mothers or parents used when they were growing up. And the clear example was Peak and the Papillo ad that came up, I'm guessing a good number of years ago, where Kanu, after Nigeria won the World Cup, I guess it was, or the Olympics, sorry, it was the ad that Kanu had been featured in, and it was the most popular ad at the time. Everybody was singing the praises of Kanu, and there was also Papillo and its association with the brand, and that forged a way for peak milk over the years, and it gave it that legacy, and it also gave it that logic, and there's that association. On the other hand, with the Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas, where they would rather just scroll past a sales pitch and connect with what feels real and relevant and responsive to them, the Gen Zs in the room for us, and that same study, all responded with their choice being what was readily available and easiest and possibly cheapest. Not necessarily because they remember an ad from donkey years ago, but necessarily just because for them it is, this is what feels real. This is what I associate with. This is what I prefer. So yeah, they are the swipe before the work generation. They are able to essentially, you know, decide on what they want to do because it feels real and what is best for them. And they're very quick to cancel it where necessary. Um, so how do we then, knowing that we know that the older generations they respect the expertise while the younger ones demand the authenticity and the interaction and the proof of proof of execution. How do we then market to a generation where 8 seconds attention span, um, or the six, and six, they have 8 seconds attention span and they have like a sixth sense for on inauthenticity. How do we then market to them? Um, Baba mentioned this earlier in his presentation. Storytelling matters. Storytelling matters, but it must be rooted in data. Storytelling isn't dead. It's just smarter. Essentially, it's powered by insights and not assumptions. We are a Nigerian market that loves deals. We still love deals. Be it a boomer, be it an alpha, Nigerians still love deals. But data will tell you when, where, and why. When do these consumers browse? Is it during working hours or is it 11 p.m. on a TikTok deep dive? What tone of voice do they use? Now we're going from more funny to formal, where before our communication was very much formal and very explanatory and very direct and very, you know. However, we are now doing a lot of things in a very funny direction. Um, what platforms or which platforms do they trust? It's not Facebook any longer. A lot of brands are, a lot of brands are no longer, a lot of people are no longer going on Facebook to do stuff. Our parents are the ones doing it now. There's Snapchat, there's TikTok, and advertising is kind of skewing more towards that. And then you're able to see more times than often what what is trending, really, depending on the trending sound. Now what's raining now has been no turning back, and people are doing a lot of stuff around that. And these are things that people like celebrities or brands abroad, or in Western world, have latched onto the ability to instantly go viral with something. um we track what the Gen Z is saying on the platforms, TikTok, Instagram. We're looking at what, using the trends, the slangs, their frustrations, the memes, they engage, and what they engage with to shape the content that speaks their language. For example, if they're talking about the soft life, your content needs to be contextual. It has to be in line with what they're looking for in the context of this soft life. Otherwise, you're going to be risking looking like you're out of touch. So data gives you a map. It's understanding who your customer is and how you can use them on this map, because the story and storytelling still gives us the fuel to speak to these guys in the way that they would resonate with our brands. Um, Secondly, it's not just marketing anymore, it's very much content culture. And when I say content culture, it's again going back to this viral, no turning back. The amount of videos, the amount of iterations that have been created with with that song have been tremendous. So many religious, non-religious, you know, um, central, everything that has gone, both in Nigeria, both abroad, both with foreigners, with Nigerians. It's been phenomenal. And this is why I'm saying content culture is now, content is queen, but it's now more content culture. Um, you're not interrupting their content. You are to be the content. We're marketing to a generation that grew up watching YouTube before they could even spell the word YouTube. So if your brand isn't if your brand isn't entertaining, if it's not educating, if it's emotionally resonant, if or it doesn't emotionally resonate, you can be ignored. And no hard feelings there. It's just that you don't resonate or you're not speaking their speak. This is why sales strategy now needs reels, and not just pitch decks and not just sales numbers and business cases, but we also now need, as a sales team, besides the marketing team creating all the content, the sales team also need a pitch deck. Excuse me. And why storytelling must be platform first, and insight fueled rather, and then loop friendly. So if I'm saying I'm sharing content, it needs to be, it has the insight of who I'm talking to, how I'm talking to them, when I'm talking to them, but it's also, these are the insights that's fueling this communication. And then it's something that I know that I want people to watch over and over. It has the potential for people to watch over and over and over again. And when I say um, sales strategy now needs reels, I'm talking about sales is storytelling proof. And when I say storytelling proof, it is proof that whatever marketing has happened works. We take our marketing, we talk to the consumers, we push it to sales, and sales executes the sales. However, marketing captures attention and imagination. Sales seals the deal, like I said, but with clarity, credibility, and consistency. So together we have to tell the same story, but just in different volumes and in different voices. So whether we're selling, in my experience, whether we're selling yogurt or a fintech card, the Gen Z would ask who's using it. A Gen Z, Gen Alpha would ask what did they say about it? What are people saying about it? Why should I care? And can I get it with cashback? Because it has to give them something back. They want stories, yes, but they also want receipts too. So for them, it's data driven storytelling, connecting with what you want to say, with what they want to hear, and how they want to hear it. Because as much as we can dictate what we want to sell and what the brand story is and what it is, we need to say it in their own voice so that they can identify with it and it can resonate with them clearly. So, your sales team and your marketing team have to very, very certainly work very closely together to make these things happen. And like I said, you're saying it in the same voice, you're saying the same story, but you also definitely need to say it in different volumes. You really need to have you train the sales team to be able to have the same direction of storytelling that you want them to have, and direct them in such a way that they are a continuation of the marketing team. They are a continuation of what it is. The amount of work that you've put in on digital, on the traditional media, um, on your executions and activations, your sales team needs to be able to tell the same story, um, to create that all-round association of your brand. Um, so yeah, for me, final thoughts is that we are not just selling products anymore. We're selling relatability, we're selling values, and we're selling vibes. Whether you want to like it or not, we are definitely selling vibes. But without data, your story cannot hit. It would just be noise. So we want to be able to do it creatively. We want to do it with emotion. Um, and we also want to do it with the algorithm, essentially to be able to use our TikTok trends and use our Snapchat reels and use our Instagram reels to be able to collect the data. That in a way is listening. Dr. Tola spoke about all the different ways that you can collect the data, all the different platforms, all the different ways, and this is why I kind of sort of changed my story to talk from a consumer point of view, because everybody else was very technical on data and how we can collect data, but I wanted to give an understanding of who we are talking to, with all the information that we've gathered from all the speakers today. So yeah, let's tell better stories and let data help us tell them right.
Thank you so much, Lola. That was very insightful. The last phrase, the last part of the presentation just caught me. We're selling experience and vibes, and
Yes.
without data, you your story will just be a noise. That
Yes.
is a key one, because really, without data, you just be making so much noise, especially
True.
with the fact that the attention span of the average consumer is now, despite the fact that consumers spend a lot of time on online, which is very interesting, by the way. Data
Yeah.
says that we're spending a lot of time online, but our attention span is very, it
It's
doesn't
very,
interest
very
me. I move
low.
on to the next
Yeah. I
thing.
move
Oh, this
on.
doesn't
Yes.
interest me. I just move on.
Yes.
Basically,
Yes.
and that's very, very powerful. Thank you so much for this section. Let me
Thank
go on the
you.
comment section. Let's see what we have from our amazing participants this afternoon. Okay, so I have Fumilayo saying thank you, saying welcome, Dr. Lola, welcome, Lola. I'm calling you a doctor. Maybe
I receive it.
you might just be. Okay, from Olusegun, Shegun is saying the section has been knowledge and experience field from the industry leaders. Thank you very much, Shegun. That was very kind of you. Yeah. Also, Alex, Taiwo said we are selling experience. Exactly, we are selling experience. Very, very important. From our speaker, from our amazing speaker, Dr. Lola has this to say. Well done, Dr. Tola. Beg your pardon. As is, well done, Lola. I love the Gen Z perspective. Absolutely. It's been an amazing experience. This morning. And amazingly, all of our speakers are still in the room. You go to a conference, and at the beginning some speaker come, before you know it, boom, they've left. Every one of our speakers are still in the room, and that's amazing. Please, let's give a round of applause to our speaker. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you very much, Lola.